Hello, guys. Mrs. Brown here. I'm not here, unfortunately, today. However, I shot this quick video so I can go through what you're going to be doing for today. So, today you are going to be completing day 9. You're going to see today's learning goals are to practice active listening, listen or respond to a story, build your reading stamina for independent reading, practice making text-to-text connections, and continue to practice independent writing. Today you're going to be reading this read aloud called Mufara's Beautiful Daughters. It is an African tale, one of my favorite stories. There is a link in the Google Classroom assignment for today. So I do ask that you go ahead and read that along with the video to help you with today's assignment. We are going to be focusing on making connections. Making connections can help you better understand the text. There are 3 ways to do this, either text to self, text to text, or text to world. These connections, when it's text to self, is the person who is reading is able to connect a book to their own life experience. So one-on-one experiences definitely help you out a lot more to better understand a story. There's text to text, where you're reading a book and able to connect it to another book you've read before. And then there's text to world, where the person who is reading is able to connect a book to an event that's happening for real in the world. Making connections is one strategy readers use to understand a text. While reading, you may want to be reminded of a story or book you have in mind. So think about making a connection to the characters, the setting, the plot, the genre. We just read a book the other day about teeth. Maybe try to find a similar one to try to make connections between. As you read, think about whether you are reminded of another story or book you have read in the past. These are some really great sentence starters. At any point, if you want to pause the video because you like what you're seeing and jot it down, you may go ahead. The part about blank in the book reminds me of the book, and then you put the title in. What I just read reminds me of, and then again, you pick a story, a book, a movie, a song, and then you give a little explanation. Or the last one, the theme, setting, characters in this text are similar to the ideas in, and then you give a title and you explain why. So these are 3 great sentence starters. Again, feel free to steal them off this slideshow and use them. So this is a great little chart. You give the title, you give the part of the story it's coming from, and it could be any of those, and then you make the connection. And again, any connection either to a story, it's alike, if it's different, this chart does make it very easy to do that. So after reading that story, I want you to think, how is this story that you just heard similar to Cinderella? So try to think of that right now. I'm going to give you some think time. There are some similarities, right? I mean, a lot of differences, but definitely you can make some connections. So here's our connection tracking chart. If you're thinking of the story you just read, you can pick any of those parts to make a connection to. You can make the connection to another book you've read, or maybe an experience you or somebody else you know who has had that, a real life event, or a person you may know in history. And this is where you're going to stop and you're going to go to that day 9. Now, I did put 2 assignments in one document, so you are only completing the top page of that document, okay? And you're going to be filling in that connection tracking chart just like I showed you on the previous slide. After you're done with that, you're going to be heading to Epic and you're going to be working on 15 minutes of independent reading. You can go ahead and set a timer for yourself. Think about these things we're always talking about. Find a good spot, get started, make sure your eyes are staying on your screen, you're reading the whole time, and you're really thinking about that book, trying to stay focused in your own little world almost. So again, that will be for 15 minutes and you can set your own timer. The last part of today's assignment is going to be a writing assignment. And again, just like we were just talking about, you're going to be writing about those connections to the text. You're going to be writing down a connection, one way to share the connection. So again, you can have a discussion as if we were to have it in our whole class, but writing is also a good way to get it down too. So for example, here's a great connection to a text. When I read the book Sarah Plain and Tall, it reminded me of the book Little Horses on the Prairie, because in both books, a girl is trying to adjust to living on the prairie during the pioneer days. Very simple way to make a connection between two books. This is exactly what I would expect to see. You need to name the titles and then name the connection, how they're similar. Today, you will write one paragraph about a connection you made when you were reading your independent reading book, so that book you just read on Epic. Don't forget to include the title of the book and the connection you made. You can connect it to another story in the book you've read, an experience you or someone else had, a real life or real world event, or a person that you know or somebody in history. Any of those three connections you can make. So it should be a paragraph. And as we had been saying, a paragraph should be at least 5 sentences at that point. Can be more. I do love these prompts. So I do want you to take a look. You can choose one of these or you can do it on your own. It says in this story, and then you name the book that you read in Epic, and you could pick any of these bullet points. You're just picking one. So it says blank reminds me of blank. So you'd put a character there, right? When blank happened, I thought of, so you're putting an event there. Blank is similar to different from, so you can put a person, an event, something that happened in the story. The character, blank reminds me of, so again, you can put a person there, and so on and so forth. So you can use any of these, and then the because means that you're going to explain it further. So feel free, again, you can always pause this video, steal one of those sentence starters, and this is going to go in that second page of the day 9 assignment. Okay, and here it is right here. This is exactly what you'll see on that second page, where it says at the bottom in the blue, type your paragraph here. You just click, wait for it to blink, and then start writing about that epic book you read today. All right, so I miss you guys today. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Don't forget to hit that turn in button, and I'll see you next week. Bye.